Hi, I'm Shane Downey, and we're taking the GBTA broadcast studio on location to Washington, D.C. today. Joining me is Representative John Katko. Representative, thanks for joining us here today.
Hey, thanks for having me here today. I appreciate being here and the opportunity to talk to the folks.
Absolutely. So last time we chatted, it was back at our June legislative summit, and we were really worried and talking about this pre-check as pre-check. And we just saw that you voted and the House passed the House FAA Reauthorization Bill. We're thrilled with that legislation, thrilled with the language that's in there, including TSA reauthorization language, as well as the pre-check as pre-check bill. You want to tell us a little bit about how that all came about?
Sure. Obviously, we had to reauthorize the FAA bill, and that's the most important thing. And once they started getting the ball rolling on the FAA reauth and it looked like it was going to go, the Senate had a lot of our bills sitting over there, including 26 bills that passed the House from the Homeland Security Committee. 21 came out of my subcommittee about keeping airlines safe, keeping people safe, and what have you. And so they started negotiating, and all of a sudden they started putting a lot of our individual bills into the FAA reauth, and that's how pre-check is pre-check got in there, and many others.
Great.
So we're real happy.
Great. So what really drove you? I know we had talked to the office quite a bit about the pre-check as pre-check and making sure that people in there, but what really drove you on this subject?
Well, two things. One is it goes back to the days when they were using managed inclusion as a line monitoring tool. And to me, that went completely against what we want to do, risk-based security.
Right.
And that's what pre-check is, risk-based security. So we got them to commit to not doing managed inclusion anymore. We had to do that by law. But then we realized that they were just putting people into pre-check as line monitoring sometimes, just to try and reduce flows. And I experienced it personally, like probably a lot of pre-check people did as well. Yeah. And I just said, you know, this has got to stop, because the whole idea behind pre-check is not a line monitoring deal. It is risk-based security. We know more about the pre-check people and pre-clearance, and we should not be putting people in there that we don't know enough about. That goes against everything it's supposed to be
It's the whole point of the program is to pre-vet the people before they use it. So as we're looking for, also included in there is language to try and increase the enrollment. And I know that was another item that you really pushed hard on TSA. Where do you think what are you hoping TSA will do with this?
Well, I'm hoping they're doing what we've been trying to get them to do for the last 3.5 years. I've been chair of the subcommittee, and that is to expand the enrollment for pre-check. Now, we've been moderately successful. When I first took over, they had about 1 million people in pre-check. But like in Syracuse, New York, for example, the pre-check enrollment center was 45 miles north of Syracuse in a small town of Oswego. It's ridiculous. Yeah. In Syracuse, I got them to put a pre-check kiosk at the airport. And now we went from virtually nobody using pre-check at the airport to more than 50%.
Wow. Wow.
So we're now up to about over 6 million people on pre-check, but we'd like to get up to about 20 to 25 million, because then you have an optimum throughput for passengers and those individuals who are in the program. That's what we want to do.
Right, right. That's a big push, and we're really thrilled with that. Talk to me a little bit about some of your other efforts for help safety and security of the travelers. I know you've really focused on that as a whole.
Yeah, I mean, I've had opportunities to go to other committees, and I don't want to, because I'm very passionate about airport security, and I get briefed up almost every day in the SCIF, the secure facilities, about the threats, and they're real. And so we need to be ever vigilant, and I'm willing to take on that task. And so we've done everything from employee screening techniques to knowing more about the insider threat, which is quite substantial, to making airports more secure as a whole, and reducing the time people are in a non-secure area of the airport. We had a Gerardo Hernandez bill, which started it out, to all the way through to this pre-check bill. And it's all about getting people in a secure area as quickly as possible without sacrificing screening. And then once we get there, make sure that planes are safe. And the last thing I'll say is we're really now, a major project is the 3D scanners, because that's the next generation of security that we have to undertake.
Yeah, no, we've started to see those. We're really pushing that out to our membership so they understand the benefits that they're getting from these as well. So thank you for all of that. And really, thank you for all your efforts on what you do to support the industry and such, and really look forward to continue working with you in the future.
Yeah, you'll find no better cheerleader than me on airport security issues, that's for sure.
Well, I'm Shane Downey, coming to you from the GBTA broadcast studio on location. Thank you.
Thank you.